mrasewdwafo mo dan foforo new chamber ya womo eye ho hyehyeye na wo ba besie no na no enas Ghana Center for Democratic Development CDD4 de omo chese ehun hia se mrasewdwafo ebesi saa eye new chamber no na de nti omo kasa nyina ne se ukomra so je fie hono ma wo administrative block kama pa no wo chese standing committees ahudo nyina wo meeting rooms ahudo a chese wo mutumi edi wo mudwuma ewo mu wo de no eto nchen a wo chese eye state house tower block no so ya de a wonom awie de tafen job 600 no eno wo mu awie a chese offices bebre ewo mu a eno no meeting bi apeso ye bia no betumi enya dan ne bi akotena mu na afi wa ye meeting ahudo na no actions no wose eba eye legislative chamber hono so a expansion je so matremu abam kama ayo ho nsiesie kama party se bibia peso ye ho bia no ne nyina no betumi aye ne sent no wo mo dwene wo mo ntiasie de ntia mrasewdwafo ehia dan foforo enye no ene hia sese ne sent no do mo kan nyina ne se sa dan foforo ne de dabi mrasewdwafo wo mo ntwa so kra
Wanka koko die no mame nkama wona fe yemfa sorry so yemra pay 2 new pricing mechanism loan. Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire have established a new pricing mechanism for trade in cocoa beans. A $400 per ton living income differential has been instituted to guarantee the floor price. This system takes into account a fixed income differential that will provide farmers with a decent income. The two countries, which are the world's top cocoa producers, announced this on Wednesday, June 3, 2019 in Cote d'Ivoire. Chief Executive of Ghana Cocoa Board, Joseph Boahi Edu, who read a communique announcing the new pricing mechanism, said it has been introduced to traders and processors. Following a series of exchanges with key stakeholders, Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana have put in place a new pricing mechanism for trade in cocoa beans that will help provide a remunerative price to producers. He added, the two countries also promised to engage with the cocoa industry on sustainability issues.
I was for the fund of the Democrats and if I toss me any demo aircraft. Who share a year Ghana any Cote d'Ivoire minua a bako kwejumua. Ade akon kan ye pa ye dua ene nyade do no anso na nano na chese omo ede amansan kubata nampo ye ebo wose ye to ewa adwamanso no omo de ba ye na se de ye ebo no womo de $400 ya saba be ka ho agese no betumi aboa ye pa no ni kokko bo asese de ba be ka ho a ebe bo akuafo no ama ho atuma henha wo ye na o chese wei aya Ghana ene Cote d'Ivoire ma no na chese womo atena se a womo ahyehye sa ebu asese ba be hyase aye adwuma na wo chese July June da na toso miensa no na chese womo de sa enkabo yi etu edwa na ekwanchefo panya wono na Ghana Cocoa Board oda ano Joseph Boahi Edu wono ene kenkan ni nyina ede mai no sa ebo ade betumi aboa eye adwadifo ni nyina amasabioso adwuma womo eye no womo enso etumi anya so mfaso na akuafo no so etumi anya eso emfaso no bi na Cote d'Ivoire na Ghana mana kasankasa so betumi aboa ye kwan bebresu asese de $400 ababeka koko ebo no ehun wei eye bo hofra wonom ede aba
yemfa the Ghanaian Observer Mahama exposes NDC. It has emerged that former President John Dramani Mahama, during his State of the Nation's address in 2013, pledged to construct a new parliamentary chamber for members of parliament. In his own words, he said, we will this year commence a feasibility studies on the construction of a new parliamentary chamber block on the premises of the State House. We will also explore appropriate housing for MPs in order to guarantee their safety and security. In his 2013 State of the Nation address to the 6th Parliament of the Republic of Ghana, former President Mahama told Parliament that his government was ready to construct a new chamber for MPs on the premises of the State House, adding that feasibility studies for the project had already been scheduled for later that year, 2013. Now, John Boadu raises red flags over Volta. The General Secretary of the NPP says there are major challenges confronting the ongoing limited registration exercise in the Volta region. Speaking to journalists at the end of his two-day tour of the region, Mr. Boadu said, for instance, in Ketu North, Doji alone, which has a relatively small population, as many as 12 online registration centers were set up. This, to me, is intolerable, considering the fact that in the other regions I have visited and received reports, the number of offline registration centers averages between 4 and 5. John Boadu added that another challenge that greeted him is the registration of minors and non-Ghanaians, particularly Togolese, contrary to the nation's electoral laws. If you say Jiwahome na yembo 2013 State of the Nation address Mampenda John Mahama sa chamber ya ho asem oka odi hint etu dwa no tienie anase no kra be ka bu mu acheche mu baako patch of video nini.
We will this year commence a feasibility study for the construction of a new parliamentary chamber block on the premises of the State House. We will also explore appropriate housing for MPs in order to guarantee their safety and security.
Okay, and she said the observer can na sa pepe sister yenko.
Yo, I was for the Ghanaian observer, the Democrats and if to enkono any demo kro. Na ni nyina ne se eye mrasebedwa fo no, wo mo dan foforo eye new chamber a wo mo eye se won pese mu esie. Na no afa nipa besa ahanan aduonum a ho nsema ba be deja wo memu a NDC fo wo ma fra ho samtrofo enhyiemu e di tudwa se enye no ene de Ghana fo ehia no. Aha no ena kanema mpanyi owura John Dramani Mahama nso akasa ho na we kura de o chese 2013 afini mutama no wo omanyi agya so sama mpanyi no State of the Nation address ma bra okojira mrashebe fini Ghana fo ina kasa no wo she bose wo ba be si parliamentary chamber foforo kra e wo State House anim honom na aboa e ma mrashebedwafo no wo mo bambo ho nsam no etumi a guarantee pa e de aba na no e na saabere yi a MPP fo nso kaso ma ba be si wonsa NDC fo agyeginam che se mboanya no na Ghana fo hia na so sanya no na Ghana fo hia 2013 o mampanyin ya no wo adwaso saabere no Mahama wo shebo se obesi na obesi na se wantumi ansi ana na mamu eguye na foforo aba no muso besi ene ne nke hu de ni sei who did the pan say? I just know the Hunsam Abba Ghanaian observer, the Bokas and the fan, et also and Kono.
I can't see how dear Nafi and Brad. Yeah. Aha,
you. Uba see one swa. General Secretary Emma MP from Yokono Rajon Bodu. One also Akasa dia to just say, we share a year a dintre koso a war a year from anymore as the challenges and ampo or how to do one and a unity a woman. Na no one some truffle a kasa. A bra what day a year no esi one equa pro was a mantamnimu. No reb wodu say a year to north and Kwan say no. What I say ya dear one more womu eswa. Bese 12 offline registration centers or honum. Neso chese niema do no a enheda enkoyie e wo honum a eno nso wode e honsem aba eye Ghanaian observer the Democrat anefa etoso enkono.
Yemfa daily graphic into us so capping of District Assembly's command fund. It's not constitutional, Supreme Court declares. It is unconstitutional for the government to cap funds allocated to the District Assembly's command fund, the Supreme Court has declared. A 7-member panel of the court in a unanimous decision held that the allocation of funds to the DACF was a constitutional provision which did not provide for its capping. According to the court, presided over by Chief Justice Sufaya Ekufo, the inclusion of the funds allocated to the DACF as part of the statutory funds which were capped in adherence to the Earmarked Funds Capping and Realignment Act 2017, Act 947, violated Article 252, Clause 2 of the 1992 Constitution. The court held that Section 126 of the Local Governance Act 2016, Act 916, which also limited the proportion of revenue due for allocation to the DACF, also violated Article 252, Clause 2 of the 1992 Constitution. Per the court decision, sections of the Act or of Act 947 and Act 916, which gave the government the legal backing to cap the funds allocated to the DACF, were unconstitutional and therefore null and void. Yo. Page 60 and I'll bet you no answer.
Yo, I was for daily guide, daily graphic mom, the Bokata no, different tosum yensa, then so shall see Eddie free crat anonym a front page one no eno diaba. Was see a year sika no district assemblies common fund sika no. Aha, wo share emremua. Any kwan se ye mom kasa bia wo mu di apem ha sei. be fan say bia osika wo banga eno an say bia do pa bia na wo yina de do pa bia wo de ye na say no asanyehye fofo bi pese ba no ye ma wo kwan e ma de wo pa bia na chese wo di sika no nyafunyafun sa de ye mpundudwuma sa ye oba bia wo di kwapema yesi full stop ye twa so na no na say de mrashebedwa nampo Supreme Court wonom ade ato dwa se ko base ye ma omu adisika na kopim baabi e wa bere wo mu entumi entra nyi foforo de a eno no emremu no etia pa a chese wo de ehonsam aba na no ene wato aso ede atu edwa se sansem wempo no Chief Justice Maame Sofa Yakufu wona chese no abini ye wo mpa wo se ekoba ne se ye ma District Assembly Common Fund no ye ma wo mu endi bebre na mom ya ma wo se bi omu ndi nkopim hanoma eno no emmoa emma empundudwuma hudro wo so mo de ye no kwampo no wo mu entumi fanye na munso a etia article 252 clause 2 no 1992 constitution no dia etia esanse wo hwa embremu a Local Government Act 2016 at 916 no eno no sika wo se District Assembly nampo assembly fo no edi no ende ya mo kwan se wo mu di nkopem ha because District Assembly Common Fund na wo ho ninti no sa local one no de ende se mu di nkopem ha na se si a District Assembly Common Fund no ye di mra foforo ba say no mu di nkopem ha no na local government de nso so ye esika so mu di nkopem ha de ebe ma ho kyera ba pa ene ma hodo wo se assembly for no enya sika de ye no wo mu nya sika emfa nye ai no ya de a Supreme Court ade ato dwa se wo mo hye sa mra no de na po sa mra ye adwuma de a emmoa ebetia wo mayama mu mra no
Mo Yemra page 16 IGP 2F4 take personal safety seriously. The Inspector General of Police, Mr. David Asante Apietu, has called on Ghanaians to take issues of personal safety and security seriously. He said taking precautionary measures for one's safety and that of his or her family was key to dealing with crime and the preservation of lives and properties. In an interview with Daily Graphic on the strategic decision of the GCGL to educate and inform Ghanaians on safety and security issues for July 2019. Mr. Santia Pieto said the decision could not have come at a better time given the threat to individual and communal security not only in Ghana but the entire sub-region. Page 35 Daily Graphic. Prempeh Achimota Wege clash at NSMQ today. The second day of the quarter-final contest of the National Science and Maths Quiz promises to be full of fireworks as some traditional giants and past winners come face-to-face at the RS Amegashi Auditorium at the University of Ghana. In one of the quarter-final contests, fate to be described as Clash of the Titans. Two past winners, Prempeh College and Achimota School, alongside Wesley Girls High School, will square off in the second of the three quarter-final contests scheduled for today. If Wesley Girls should win, they will make history because no girls' school has ever won the NSMQ since its establishment in 1994. So we look forward to winning.
You. I was for Daily Graphic, the Democrats and if I tosso a do ensia and your demo aircraw. No, and on my post is second IGP. I want to David Asante Apietu. Wakasa diato Ghana for name. So be a fun to host on a bumble host and some woman onion some ye pa. It's answer no bet to me a boy ye pa coin at one ama a year this my bonnet for some Ninano a tour to me a tranampa no to me a brass me qua corners no. Yafasa aquano so abo and qua any a japade and won't buy. Now we need Daily Graphics I'm sure for na train and komo and as handsome when na ebeto mu na ora Asante Apietu de atu dwa say to me aboa na de bamba ho sam eto akomaso na fie nyina eresmu wi a ebetumi aboa amani ma nyina tumi akoye de amaye e obambo ensensem emu katafa to so aduasa enum ena ye demo aircraw na watchre say a second day quarter final contest eno no National Science and Maths Quiz no eno ade a say de ayire pa chese nyasem ketwa na bekoso RC Amegashi Auditorium University of Ghana na chese quarter final contest o matuni di Clash of the Titans a chese we no enyasem ketwa a bekoso yie pa na we say Prempeh College and afia chimota school unso mo no ma we ne pa wo mo ye past 2 winners a che say wo mo do di CNN na che say nyasem keto a che say Wesley Girls High School so ba ka ho a che say no akense ba be koso no nya me ya dom na che say Wesley Girls to me for on to ma pa fira dia na che say ma make history pa ya ba ko say me san say wo hwe sa science and math quiz ni mu a asa oba school bia ni wono mu a wo matumi adi mu nkunim sense de ekoso yi say ya de a we ke hefo tumi adi nkunim dia na che say ya ba kosam kase asi e wo sa akanse no emu
Abako Sembesi. So go girls, go. Daily Guide, #1 grabs $39 million in Dubai. The Chief Executive Officer of Men's Gold Ghana Limited, Nanapia Mensah, popularly known as #1, appears to be making strides in the charges he is facing in Dubai. The appeals court in the Emirati country reportedly upheld the acquittal and discharge verdict of the embattled Men's Gold boss, an indication that the numerous customers whose funds have been locked up at the gold collectible firm might be getting something back very soon. I was not tortured as journalist. Confusion has punctured the integrity of the torture story claimed by one of the modern Ghana online portal staffers who is now on bail for alleged inappropriate cyber activities. The media terrain woke up yesterday to a major development which puts the credibility of the torture story on the line. After Emmanuel Brichum, one of the duo, said he was not tortured during their brief incarceration in custody of the national security. Page 6 of the Daily Guide. Be firm, impartial. Kufuor to EC. Former President John Ajikumu Kufuor has urged the chairperson of the EC, John Mensah, and the deputies to be firm and impartial in the execution of the Commission's mandate. He has also encouraged the commissioners to use best practices in the country, in the organization of elections in the country. Wherever there is power, there is tension. It should be the referee to show firmness and impartiality, former president said. $100 million housing project for military. The president, Adekye Nsroma, yesterday broke the ground for the commencement of a $100 million project aimed at providing officers and residential accommodation for members of the Ghana Armed Forces. The project, which would be undertaken by Polychanda Overseas Engineering Company Limited and Polytechnologies Incorporated Chinese firm, is expected to deliver housing units in specified military installations nationwide. It forms part of an overreaching development agenda to retool, re-equip, rehabilitate, upgrade, and provide a new accommodation and training in response to the ever-changing threats to national security.
Yo, I was for Daily Guide, double cratano. Ena ye de so na krata fe to so ensia na ye hyase e de free na no ena ba beto dwase o mampen na adodan kwakufu ado Ghana mampanyin wo de aso akobo fom
mami ending komo we quickly emfa emra ora Isaka Amonkote ye local governance expert ye kodi parliament chamber ne ho enkomo eja kote mache
ya kuronto
na mpomu boko de
Adekye ye
anope ye da say na generally se PSB kra Parliamentary Service Board na AJ ho ana se wo ba besie ene enra press conference aba atwe ya wo ka se anhwe kra de no enya maso no. What do you make of it generally?
Well, government policies, budgets and policy itself, is normally directed as up to the people.
Okay.
So now I should say it's moving the socio-economic level upwards. And it's all the policy be back, and now the project, or let's say, who take action be. Now, many people want to kick against it. Also, say, idea, Nipano, MP, and now many new. Now, we'll review as quickly as possible. Yes, Parliament need a structure. Now, say, a nice edifice at the Ama Executive, Flagstaff House. Yama Judiciary, a complex. Parliament, Amu Baby, Amu Yajumamu, but almost Suimuno, mobile need expansion any other facilities be a mobile person around them.
Okay.
But all the two protocols are kind of the scale of preference in this one. When you sure say Ghana and Nabi and no a issue a higher day. I know any money BBBC. And I to mean Tumpong as a state. No. That all the two table no so a better be 100 Hobart.
A better saying?
Be 100.
And then I say in here and cry.
No, yeah, but say a young rule bresso.
Oh,
because a Yama, you war I say, we know just a fiancé, some better material. So you have seen about 2-3 years, BBNC.
Okay.
But you want Yama, you are near within 2-3 years, or many but college.
Okay.
Because the same, we know when you say we are producing or we are about producing more than 150,000 graduates at the degree level after 3 HS. And what to say, close to about 60,000 every year. No? Yentimi, maybe I do a motion. Near co-producing 150,000. Are we safe?
Oh, na miranti unyi ni se omunim we nyina but said ya be na omusu benya baby ye atena na adwuma ye de ahye won sa no so obetumi aye ni ye
enu na me ka se baby omo no se ade a ye nsi a e be hard here. Fine, then we have to put it up. But
say 2 years ago, and so toy cramp no now or dan no so sunny a day, yes, in any new crowd call no more. Bones I see a young wedguma construction cost so yet so hard near chipping, near say, and see not just a yana a beer, or my phone on the NCA Cientia.
Debbie, the old cano, I know your maintenance, so we can put a maintenance regime and fix it. But as a serious matter, as we speak now, the speaker is saying, Omo allocated 72 million Ghana cedis. In another breath, they are going to top it up with 40 million from Chinese loan. Or the Kanhua. The estimated figure, all of which are the Maya, So what it means is say you be share free baby. And come we are saying no baby for. Example is what happened with the Flagstaff House. The initial figure no baby for because construction you construction and in fact to some say because there are so many things that can happen along the line.
Okay.
And if we have such amount of money we have to always put it on a scale of preference. Okay. Now, maybe I'm a team from local government, and they send all the various districts because of abrogation of Zoom Lion contract. A serious matter, various districts. What are we doing? And in the issues, programs, you bet me enya asobusa adenano.
Oh, but Mr. Kote, and say yes, you crack and say be was say the poor you always have with you. And say then you be here near ma na yahu abuan so enso yakwan koda. I want and I need are insatiable. Now so say ye niaman so a eno so de animunyamba na ema omo sum ye no so wo mutumi esum ye yie. Enti ye hia
sometimes I say, I understand. Yes, our needs and wants are yes, but we have to put it on the scale of preference. Okay. When we don't apply all the economic terms now you choose and pick some because before insatiable area, the scale of preference and probably the opportunity cost and also them because we are dealing with projects here. So only baby and say be almost baby basa be no mu there wouldn't be any problem. I can support it immediately. Say no, they need to be accommodated properly.
Okay.
But on the two scale this one, it doesn't fit in now.
Okay. So yeah, question and a press conference, you know. Say the majority leader who say Chairman Sambusuka say first of all no we apologize say even if you muni na no say yeah say emrashe we fear for no we say even the house both sides minority and majority no omunim enti it was at the level of PSB Parliamentary Service Board enti ono we apologize say now the ababetu say ye hwe say ehia as on my betimi atwa so that statement yes. You know it will saying
no we are not going to say ye traso. We can reorganize it. We can postpone it. Now, everybody, if we are satisfied, say yes. At this stage, you know, young baby, yeah, that is okay. But to cut it, say cancel completely, that is also not good enough. Because as I said earlier, we might need it, but not now.
What about more make argument say we don't need it at all, not now, not ever. If we say yeah no share said the community so say we share TV now, they are sitting too comfortable. Until omo ya no mo de your colonial masters dey na beto to say see the way UK House of Commons omo see etina and said your omo bobo so ne benches are omo etiso. Until say yeah see e be kapa dia not even in 20 or 30 years because no akropani say chairman Samusuna can say yenya cap yen kape parliamentarians na won bebe fie ho na say baby aduan ka say ye mema yen create more constituencies because yes ye gusu aye creating it there then we really have to expand.
Well, in supporting a debate, you know, one can always come up with different theories, different models, different to support the argument, you know.
Okay.
Yes, people can support it that way because other people are also saying, say, why don't we create a second chamber of leaders within the legislature, not necessarily first parliament, because Matisse President Kufuor Akada said we should get a second chamber, not building. I'm looking at the political structure.
Okay.
So why can't we cap the parliamentarians? And so when we have a second chamber, which can be made up of MMCs, all MMCs in the country, with some chiefs, and then we create and some technocrats, we create a second chamber to look into projects. Then members of parliament will look into laws, you know. So we can do so many things. And if we think that it is okay for us to put a second chamber, why not? Nothing stops it. Britain can be Britain and Ghana is always Ghana. Okay. I mean, it start comparison no mental papa. Anytime say, oh compare we are. I don't think now me compare and tuntum ni a bola ni insuta yinki and don't compare and compare almost living.
Okay.
And now compare your cost of living in terms of busunya se discount na fako diga and na fako share ufia. Compare the edema Britain for no. It doesn't work like that.
Okay.
Because Britain is Britain, Ghana is Ghana. So if we want to do something, yes, we can look at them and read about them and try to, yes, but who are debating now? The proper way of placing your argument. For now, no, Ghana is not ready for any infrastructure for MPs, period.
Mr. Kote Anope Yedasepa. Alright, it's Amon Kote, a local governance expert, and ye no akwakudi and common ye rapi apobanisa. Na nambisa say on one on your say in here. That she be a bit media quadri manopano. Nambisa say also arjun say be say in here cra ye pian communion bibenya baby ashe. Eso sandodo ye chucha ho ebe ye. Ebi susi oh debi. Ebi e brino time no nenye. and so ade ne yebetimi ahia enti wo hin na wo na Facebook and amanfo de kakraba me de from governor was saying no firm decision taking obisakosa, meaning there was a decision taking to build a new chamber. We will not allow that while that money could take care of the free SHS for more than 100 years. This is so ironical, relating to the fact that UK Parliament is like pack of sardine. While they have enough money, our leaders should raise and drop that chamber from Nungwa. Honorable Abedi Nkwada so says, I agree with CDD Ghana that the construction of a new chamber for Parliament cannot be justified. The Parliament must focus on enhancing its credibility and needs to make it a credible part of a system of constitutional checks and balances and a true policy-making partner to the executive and not more fancy brick and mortar. Drop that chamber. That's the hashtag that's trending on social media. Teacher Kujo Tepa Enyneso says this money can be used to build a hospital and fix some roads. If the MPs feel they are too crowded, then they must resign. They are there to serve Ghana and not by force to be an MP. Regards to Honorable Martina Pia Nyantechi, the MC of Ahafo Ano North Municipality. So just some few comments over there. Sister Fia.
The kind of mention Daily guide now.
Oh, Bonipo, so Bonipo Mwanisa, Nafi, and Kona Gladys in Bra.
I was for daily guide, the Bacata, the fair Tossum Yensa, and your demo air crow. Now, who's a maybe a told just and one, Yachano, Dubai, na say, and a coyer ye. A year, Juma Kobia, almost year and one, the Nebi, almost Eddie, Horizon Diamond Royals. One more ayo imagine some name one ebeye adwumana fe oma to gold ni bi e de afini honom the sent almost small munipa ba kwa ni dini Daniel efri Dubai so mra nam one chen e wo Ghana ha say na for ni me business bibia won ba na ma meto eye nam one ankasa na omu beto Nigeria ni ba kwa ni din ede adi e na fe Ghana ni ba kwa no so ni din di Chelsea na eye Daniel no so free Dubai ba no beto wo mu na je so no mo tena se e no me agreement bibia wo abra na nam one no kra wonim ho hwe because na je so masensa ho nkra taa nyina awie omo promise wo mo se wo betumi de eye go di bi every Sierra Leone aba abre wo mu Dubai ho na so agreement no man to me end so na no a man to me end so no e no ma eye Horizon Royal Diamond from wo Dubai memu no wo mu lusu sika $51 million. And not to say, did Mua, my woman to just and one a boom of so, I just woman and a chain no, Dubai no. As some new copy a war a year a picoto, I must say, but told just say, Saldi no crow money Nigeria ni adi, and Ghana ni back, which I see, no. None of one any more she. The sense na idea. Quarto, I buase a idea, say no, $51 million no, and yan one, and a man woman, echo the Sessicano. The sense of honor would dip him or what dip him dear. A Horizon Royal Diamond for Suji to Mume Korea some pa, a yan am one I chow as a sadi any bet me, a son who be year Jumabim. Woman in the year Jumano, and now most called nam one car, price car $31 million, and no more called nam one car. They say, as some no alcohol, a year a peacock to be, I must say, car, ye J man nam one, no, $39 million. Nana babe told you say nyame adom na say sika be ka nam one sadi na kwambia so na yade a Ghana fo a wo musika akokam wo nam one adwuma mu honom no men's gold honom no ansha wo mun sabetumi akan kakra na se wan so ne beto odwa na watwi mu se
court o mu di kan court of first instance na high court aha ti o mu sa
ko appeal court no
amayese appeal court say the high court kan ye no wogitum eno ano no
aha say wadi bim wo
mu nsem nti ye ja no wonfa ne tim kodidim ti court of brofo acquitted and discharged
na sika mo di $39 million
Inti se wadi bem ni eja ni so nkode a ene sa eka no
kana omode namwa no
aha wo mo betua ma no inti na yesi ene wo mo ye men's old customers no se enkrofo no Horizon Diamonds for ni tua dia ene se namwa no beba be chichwa no aka inti men's good customers in sabe kom
musika ene wa usika wo hono no bompae
na fight take out
na watwe musu na beto just a modern Ghana online portal phoobia dia yache wo no mazi so makodi national security fonsem am ya ambassador bi krampo chese abo mo emu ba akwa ne dinde yima no brichum wono no ya man be na nese wodi to just ono de ya mo no eno nso e wo delegate the broadcast na friend toso miensa na ne friend toso ensia na chese ye di ewie kura ye daily guide Katafren tosu ensia. Aha. Kanima mpanyu owura John Ajekumkofo ede ato abato komisa dem sani maame Jemensa ene na bedi e kire nim se ni de mada wo mu ngina fempa wo mu ngina pintin wo adwuma bi a wo mu eyemu na no betumi aboa ama abato wo hyehyeye no mu dwuma de nyina no etumi akoso kama wo sese edru eye tumi so a na kyese tension wo hoye pa ne sense no abato komisa ne mpanfo hweso betuma ye adwuma kan wa bra won kogina amanyoko ana amanyoko bi achi eme no so enkofanta wantawo bia emma na mom no so man kasa mo woni ye den na afi wogina wona so ye na de wo se wo moye no de mbra so ye adwuma yi a betumi aboa ma bato bi e bekoso Ghana ha se no bibia akoso jojo ama do bedi nkunim ode akomapa age atum se me na medi nkunim do bere nso eno so betumi aboa pa ebeboa ama wono so atumi de akomapa age atum se me na mawe ama ne yina na atumi de asomdwi aba wei ene afutu akane mampani owura John Ajekumkofo wode ama maame Jemensa ene na bedi akire
Mo wayade ene hwan na share watade
Justy fashions
okay
omo ojowulu omo pomade pa matadi wo mo ne pam ye me do mase and a living God salon omo nso e Watabora large station wa asansoa ene ye miti ya no comment
no comment saying on that note ebusia ye dai ho akoba ye koba quickly ye de eye apomuden komo no bebre say Gladys mi popo nensa no anase Prince Gladys ma me your friend is saying din me re few Auntie Millicent well Auntie Bruce Auntie Afia Bruce no ama so or the bebre please obi pe no Gladys is ado nti Auntie ye chia opa ye koba